I can't think of many racing events in the world where 1 minute the pit lane is the heart of the action on race day, and within 24 hours it's a proper bike park. There are people walking their dogs up and down pit lane, cycling, ice creams, all the things that you do when it's a day off from the racing here on the Isle of Man. It's day 8 of the Manx Grand Prix 2022. We're not entirely sure what we're going to find today. We were hoping to catch up with a few of the runners and riders that had success yesterday and then give you a little bit of a preview ahead of the senior and the classic Superbike race tomorrow. Who knows who's in the paddock? Who knows if they have hangovers? There is a strict 0% alcohol policy for all of the races here. They can be called up for testing at any time. But with today being a day off and yesterday being a great day at the office for some of those boys, for sure they probably had a couple of beers last night. We're going to go and find out. Could just be me talking on my own today. We could catch up with some of the guys. Couldn't come down to this end of the paddock without catching up with our Dunlop lightweight race podium stepper, privateer Supremo.
How on earth did we manage that one?
Well, you tell me, you did all the work.
Yeah, I think I blagged it in there somehow or other. But no, I'll definitely take it. Yeah, we had a good day yesterday.
Yeah.
Fabulous day. It was a bit surreal, if I'm honest. A few people going nuts around the circuit. I think might have a result here.
Yeah. What kind of boards were you taking?
I didn't take any boards at all. I just kept seeing the odd person, and funnily enough I saw a blue t-shirt coming out of the crag that were going absolutely mental. I didn't have a clue who we were.
But you know,
and I later learnt in the day, he came and found me in the paddock and says, "Did you see me at the crag?" I said, "Did I see you at the crag? I couldn't miss you." He said, "Well, you were on for a podium."
Yeah.
So little things like that. My son, when
I know you're real proud of him and the work that he does for you, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. Just I can't really stress how hard it's been this week with just me and him.
Yeah.
And doing the spannering, concentrating on the bikes is easy, it's normal for me, it's what I do. But feeding myself and things like that is, Dad, have a sandwich, Dad, have a cup of tea, we need to drink, we need to eat. And just to epitomise it, the other day we came in from practice and what we have to eat, we've got no food. We had an ice cream for his tea, but it was a damn good ice cream.
Somebody else did the thinking for you on that bit.
Yeah. He does the thinking for me. He manages that side of things and I concentrate on the bike. So, but he was going nuts at the end of pit lane. He was just, to quote him, and he says, "I was just waiting to see that helmet bob up and down that road on the way back." He says, "I knew we could make it with fuel." And I got to the pit lane, he was going nuts, and I thought, do you know what, we might have a result here, but I've still no idea. And Sunday at the end of the return roads, just gave it your third.
In you go.
No, come on. If only.
Yeah.
And
well, no, obviously everybody knows that James Hind had an issue with fuel. How did you get on?
We struggled, both James and I, and James, fantastic family, James. We've been comparing settings and gearing and jetting. He'd been struggling for fuel, I've been struggling for fuel. And in a way, I really feel for James. Cream will rise at top. He'll have his day.
Sure, won't he?
He'll have his day.
Yeah.
Spoke to him yesterday, and thanks to James and the help he gave me, got me to the finish. And I don't forget things like that.
Yeah.
And I wish him well, and I will follow his progress as we continue. Because, like I say, cream rises to the top eventually, I'm sure.
But look at what you've got here, with a reef on it and the fly still on it from yesterday. What is next for it?
Well, the only sure thing we've got is this come again next year.
Yeah.
It weren't about a 1 year plan, it's a long-term thing. I know we touched earlier on how many years I've been racing. It's scary to think about it, really. It's to come back next year and do better. We were surprisingly competitive this year, which I didn't expect, and which is nice, obviously. But after I've been away for 4 years, because I didn't do 19, I wanted to buy another 600, that's another story. And I couldn't afford it, so then COVID came, so it's 4 years since I've been. A lot of my rivals have been here for TT, they've spun 40 laps out in TT, and 8 laps of practice and in we get. So
do you think the 40 laps that James Hind, I know he said he had 40 at the TT, do you think that helped with his pace early on? Because he's he's immediately familiar with where he's going and he's straight on it.
Yeah, and because they're riding quicker bikes as well, when they come to, particularly James, who's been riding the 600, come to riding the 250, it slows everything down, calms everything down for him, and it becomes much smoother and much more composed. So he said immediately he knew where we're going, and I was still, as I know where I'm going, but I'm still fighting for the middle of the road. I'm still trying to get to the white line to give me that margin of error left and right. But as the week progressed for myself, I could let the bike run out to the different sides of the road, let it run near the curb here, it's a safe
Your
point.
confidence is growing.
So you start to relax a little bit more, whereas James probably had that from the start. And anybody who did the TT had that from the start, and I knew they did. So this year wasn't about being competitive, this were about, I'll share my goals with you really. I finished 7th, as I told you before, blagged it into the podium, a winner's enclosure then as a privateer. So I wanted a proper podium ultimately, but
2017.
In 2017, I wanted a proper podium ultimately, but that's the end goal, with a proper podium. So I want to beat me 7th. If we get top 5, bit of euphoria. We're not going to get on podium this first year. It's not going to happen. So when it came, it's fantastic.
And how long did it take you to wake up this morning and realise and put that hat on?
I don't normally wear the hat, and I don't like the limelight really. But my son says to me, "Dad, you've earned it.
Yeah, you grafted for
Get
it.
the hat on. You know what I mean? Enjoy it. It'll go with the trophies when I get home, and I'll not wear it again. It'll go on pride of place in my living room on my sideboard with my other replicas. But I put the hat on today, and I thought I'm going to wear it. I'm going to enjoy it. So it's been surreal, and
richly deserved.
But I'm on a high for a while, I think. But probably till about Christmas.
Sounds good to me, Stu. Amazing result. Thanks for letting us in again.
Thank you. Thanks for being part. Thank you very much.
Mark Colvin, a man of few words. Yesterday in the winner's enclosure, I think I was probably more excited than you at the result. I think the lads that I'm working with are local guys. They were all talking about you all week and said that you were going to feature in that race.
Yeah, they're all mates.
Yeah.
So it's good to see them there in the winner's enclosure.
Yeah. How did you feel waking up this morning?
Yeah, it's sort of sunk in. I've been trying to get on the podium here for 6 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
And what's been the best result after that one? I should know this, but I don't. What's your second best result here been?
Not a great deal on the roads, really, no. I've had some alright lap times at the Southern, nothing special.
But that's obviously a very, I think it's a really different event compared to this. Yeah,
it is totally different, the way you ride.
Yeah, and grid starts.
The mass start, first corner's mental.
Yeah. In a good way though, because I can see you smiling.
Yeah, I do like it, it is good. But I like being on my own around here and just riding.
And is that how the race went for you yesterday? Did you spend most of it on your own?
Yeah, I caught 4 or 5 of them, and then I got held up on the last lap, so it would have been a fair bit quicker, but just couldn't get past.
Well, like second position quicker, or?
I think so, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's hard to say.
It did all seem to come together for you in the last half of the last lap. I think.
But I was just stuck behind a guy who's had a quicker bike than me down the straight, so I couldn't. It was hard to get past him. Yeah, it was good.
Have you got a section here that's your favourite?
Yeah, out of Glen Helen to the end of Solby Straight. All that bit is just mint.
What is it? Just the?
I think it's because it's all flowing. It's just all change of direction quite a lot, and it's fast, so it suits how I ride like that.
And am I right in thinking that your dad has raced the Manx Grand Prix as well?
Yeah, he'd done about 20 years here.
Did he?
Yeah, and then he did a couple of TTs, like proddy TTs and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just brought up with it. Just
is that where it comes from for you?
Yeah, just up here as a kid. I was in the pits and when my mum was pregnant with me. She
really?
did the pit for my dad. So I was in there.
What's your earliest memory of road racing then?
Up here?
TT or like sat in these stand?
Well, in the paddock here.
Yeah.
And up at Jerby and they had Derby road races. He used to do all that, so I'd just be always watching him race.
That reminds me of John McGuinness. His dad used to race at Derby when he was growing up.
Yeah.
That was his one of his earliest memories. Is sat in the hedges watching up there.
I think there's a lot of us that have just grown up with road racing.
In your blood?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And where does it go from here then? More of the same?
Just carry on, just keep going. Try and go quicker, that's it. Yeah.
And are you a carpenter from Peel? Did I get that bit right?
Yeah.
I think at the last minute, because you weren't due on the podium, I think it was locked in.
Yeah.
So I start making notes and doing research to do post-race interviews, and then at the last minute, over the headset, they're like, Mark Colvin's into third. I was like, quickly trying to find out a little bit of information about you. But,
that's right.
So in my head there's and you'll be able to help me out with the answer here, I'm sure. In my head there's always an advantage that local lads have when it comes to racing the Isle of Man mountain course, whether it's TT or the Manx Grand Prix. And some of you guys say there is something in that because you're doing almost laps every day.
Yeah.
And some people don't really think there is much of an advantage to the game.
I don't think there's much advantage. So you say you're in a car or a van.
Yeah. And you've only got half of
you're on half
the track.
The road. Yeah. You don't know where the bumps are on the racing line. It changes every year. I never go up the mountain ever. The only time I go up there is when I'm racing. Really.
Really?
Yeah.
You ride a road bike on the road?
No, I've not got a licence. It's too dangerous.
Hang on a minute. You haven't got a road bike licence because it's too dangerous?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's too many people to pull out on you. If I get on a motorbike, all I want to do is go as fast as I can. So
that would be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're racing.
Yeah.
So road racing doesn't spend time in your head every day. There isn't. There's a part of every day where
that's all I think about.
That's all you think about.
Yeah. Do it like all the time.
So what's the dream race that you could get on the podium or possibly win at? A senior TT or more stuff at the Manx Grand Prix?
TT ideally. Yeah. I wouldn't ride 1,000. They're too fast for me.
Right.
So a twin or a 600 round TT.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's quite cool that you know your limits in terms of what you want. You wouldn't fancy a Superbike.
They just scare me.
Yeah.
Too fast. So I like to be riding a bike as hard as I can ride.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was on 1,000,
just be hanging on to the thing.
Yeah, there'd be a flag on it.
That's what a lot of the boys say, isn't it? They just end up flapping around on the back of it.
I wouldn't enjoy it, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
So have you got a road racing hero? It must be
Steve Hislop.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and him, I had a picture of him, number 19 on the white Norton.
Yeah.
And I had it signed as a kid. And then I went out with Richard
on
the other day,
on the replica.
And I just followed him for miles.
You bring it to life here?
Yeah, it's good that, it's really good. Yeah.
They cover you in oil as well?
There was a lot of smoke coming out.
Yeah, I think they said when they were warming it up yesterday they had to put the 2-minute board over the exhaust to stop it from spitting all over the fella behind him.
I've been behind him a couple of times and you can't see where you're going.
But it's worth it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just to hear it.
Did you have a few beers last night to celebrate?
Yeah, a couple. And then taxi home. So.
What did your dad think?
Oh, he's over the moon.
Is he?
Yeah, he loves it. He loves road racing more than me. That's all he does is build bikes, working on the bikes and that, getting ready for this. So,
well, mate, you're definitely easier to talk to today than you were on the podium yesterday.
I think I was a bit in shock.
Well, I don't know. I could see that you were really pleased.
Yeah.
But I think it's, I felt this responsibility to build the race up, and Kinners and the whole team was, it builds to this crescendo, and I thought that you'd be as excited as we all were. And I could see in your eyes you were peaking, but when I put the microphone under your mouth, you're like, yep.
Yeah, I'm not one for talking, but.
Well, I don't know, definitely worth listening to. I'm fascinated by the idea of knowing that you don't want to go on a superbike, you don't have a road bike licence.
Yeah.
But you're quick enough to stand on the podium here.
Yeah, I just get on with the twins really well. So. Yeah, I'm lucky to have Rob Brew backing us with his twin. He's built them for us over the last 3 years for this. So yeah, it's worked out quite well.
Would you fancy having a swipe at that classic Superbike race yourself then? It's not quite 1,000, is it?
No, I've got one from Dale. Dale Fordham's asked me to ride his bike, so I'll have the senior on my dad's bike tomorrow, and then the classic Superbike on Dales. So yeah.
2 in a day.
It's hard work. But
which one are you looking forward to the most? Doesn't matter.
I love riding that 750 at Dales.
Yeah.
It's really nice to ride, but 600, I'll have a better chance of getting a better result on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm just keen for both of them really. Yeah.
Well, mate, thanks again for your time. Best of luck tomorrow.
Yeah, cheers.
Enjoy the rest of your day off.
Thanks.
So a fairly chilled day 8 here at the 2022 Manx Grand Prix. I actually went swimming first thing this morning in the sea, up the other end of the harbour. Found a lovely little beach on my own, had a bit of a dip, sunny day. It certainly started better than it's going to finish. We won't talk about the weather curveballs, we'll just let it do its thing. It's the Isle of Man, it is what it is. It's also, as you can see on the sign behind me, 100 years next year of Manx Grand Prix. If you haven't made any holiday plans yet, I can recommend booking a chunk off at this time of the year and getting over. What you're going to get is the amazing race that we've got tomorrow. Aside from the races that we've already seen, tomorrow's a big one. We've got the senior race, Stephen Smith, hotly tipped to win it. Jamie Williams, disappointment yesterday after leading his race for so long in the junior and then having to retire. I think he's looking to make amends and make his way to the podium. But like I said, Stephen Smith has kind of led the way all week with that. And possibly that guy, Mark Colvin again, could make his way to the podium too. I get the feeling the senior race is the one that all the local guys, the guys that I've been working with behind the scenes on the camera crew, they know all the boys that race here, and it's nice hearing them talk about people that I didn't really know that much about until we got here. Mark Colvin is one of those people. Spent a bit of time with him today and really enjoyed his company. It's going to be a big race. Hotly tipped Stephen Smith. Is he going to do it? Who knows? And then we've also got the classic Superbike race. I get the feeling they've saved that until the end as maybe the blue ribbon race of the Manx Grand Prix. It certainly sounds like it to me. It's going to be incredible just to hear that. I'm not entirely fussed who wins it. I just want to see some good racing. Lee Johnson's been saying all week that he'd just like to finish on that RC45. Are we going to see Dunlop on an S-Rad or an XR69? Who knows? Nathan Harrison, local guy, he's been going really well on that ZXR 750 as well. It's going to be a big day of racing here tomorrow, so I'm off for an early night. If you thought that today's show was quite chilled out, there wasn't much going on, I guarantee tomorrow's is going to be absolutely action-packed.